A new campaign from the World Wildlife Fund. Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us from the World Wildlife Fund is Chief Operating Officer Loren Mayor. Hi, Loren.
Hi, it's so good to be with you today and have a chance to talk about nature. It's one of America's great unifiers.
Well, let's start, I think, with a bit of background for folks about the World Wildlife Fund.
Sure, the World Wildlife Fund is the world's largest conservation organization. We've been around for over 60 years. We work in over 100 countries. And people might know WWF for our work with iconic species. But one of the things we realized early on is that if you want to protect species, you have to protect their habitats. And it turns out that if you start to conserve entire ecosystems, all the species benefit, including us. So we do work in a variety of ways with a variety of partners, everything from trying to restore iconic species like the bison in the northern Great Plains, to cleaning up rivers and lakes so that there's clean drinking water, to partnering with schools so that children can understand more about food loss and waste.
And you have conducted a new survey or sponsored a new survey on the attitude of Americans when it comes to preserving and protecting nature. Tell us about some of the findings.
Yeah, one of the most surprising findings was also the best, which is that Americans are really united in their love for nature and their desire to spend time in nature, the value they get from it, and their desire to protect it. In fact, 3 out of 4 Americans see nature as an essential part of our cultural identity. It's who we are, whether that's the bald eagle or our national parks or a place where you might go for a walk in your neighborhood. Nature is an intrinsic American value. We also learned that 84% of Americans are concerned about threats to nature, with 6 in 10 being extremely or very concerned. And that just shows us that we all need to play our part. And at WWF, we're trying to work with partners big and small, governments, businesses, communities, and individuals to address those pressing threats to nature.
I guess there might be some divisions, but they're not as great as people might suppose.
No, between age groups, where you live, where you come from, people are pretty united in their love for nature.
Tell us about the role that families play in the way nature is perceived or viewed.
Yeah, families play a really critical role in that. Again, from our research, one of the things that we learned is that for young people, but really for everybody, your attitude about nature, it's not shaped by the media. It's really shaped by your personal experience of going out and experiencing nature. So that's why it's so important for people to get out in nature with family and friends, particularly when they're young. I know for me, I had the opportunity to go to the beach with my family when I was just a little kid, and that experience of looking at the tidal pools and seeing the jellyfish, that just really sparked my interest in all the wide range of things in the world around me. They connected me with nature, and that connection has really stayed with me. We also know that Americans really want to protect nature for the next generation, and families play a key role in that. I mean, you can do that in really easy ways just by talking to your kids, even about where the food comes from that they're eating. Children are listening, and they really look up to us in that way.
It's funny, I suppose, because nature can mean different things. To all of us, I guess, to some extent, it means home, depending on where you've grown up. It can be the beach, as you mentioned, or it can be mountains. It can be, I guess, the prairies as well. It can mean many different things, right?
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing is sometimes nature is visible to us. We think about going to the beach, but sometimes nature is almost invisible in terms of the benefits that it brings to us. So, for example, we might love going to the beach, but what we might not realize is that healthy oceans that are full of life, that provides 50% of the oxygen that we breathe. And those oceans, they're the primary source of protein for over 3 billion people.
So tell us about some steps that maybe we not may not be aware of that we can all take to help conserve natural resources.
Yeah, there are really easy steps that each one of us can take to help do that. So it can be as easy as when you go to the grocery store, thinking about how much food you're buying so that you don't waste it, and thinking about how much you cook at dinner. It can also mean thinking about the plastic that you use or helping clean up in your neighborhood. One of the things that we know is that the equivalent of a garbage truck worth of plastic enters the ocean every minute. So just cleaning up around you can make a really big difference. And right now, when it's back to school season, thinking about putting reusable water bottles or containers in a lunchbox, that can make a difference. Or washing the school clothes using cold water versus hot, that uses only 1/10 the energy.
And maybe even what the sandwiches are packed in, right?
Indeed, exactly.
So for more info, where can everyone go?
You can go to WWF.org. You can see our full Connected by Nature survey, or you can follow us on social media on Instagram or TikTok to learn why nature needs us now.
Just terrific. Loren Mayor, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you.